And welcome back to Out of Ore. As you can see, I've been a little bit more hard at work. We've gone down a little bit further into the gradient of ore, and yeah, well, there's nothing left on there, so I'm using it as like a secondary ramp. But on the plus side, we're now digging into the main vein. I don't know how far this is going to go down, but I'm going slowly because I don't want it to have like this massive incline and having all the problems I have in previous ones. Worst comes to worst, I do have the room to expand out and go for the better gradient, so that's good. My rock truck's serving me well. My big digger is doing good. I've got my grader. I'm using my grader. It's all good. I might have to build it a shed because I don't use it often, but it is coming in handy to like keeping the ramp like down instead of going like really vertical and really horrible, keeping it at a level and then dragging it down a little bit each time. Obviously I said I was going to be coming back a little bit further, trying to keep it more level and trying to keep it more easier to get up and down. All right, that's all I got to do. One thing I may have to do is, because it's getting longer to go from here to there, I might have to build another pad for my truck here. Nothing too major, so it's all good. But yeah, there you go. That's the start. We are now digging a hole, basically. It's all good. Down, down, deeper and down, 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 deeper and down. As you can see, we're getting deeper. And as I said, I'm trying to keep this level. It's getting harder to keep the ramp level, let's put it that way. So might have to push that back a little bit. Might have to widen it as well, because I've sort of lost the grade from here and I've just gone against it. So I'll have to get the grader to grind against the side again. But yeah, it's turning into how I had it before, unfortunately. So I've got to try and keep up with this. Keeping the side straight and keeping it like level is a good thing, but like trying to get down this far as well to get all this out is an actual nightmare. This is why I'm not very good with mining. Like if it's got a solid bedrock, like let's say in Gold Rush, where there's a solid bedrock and it's got a natural curve to it and a natural everything, I'm good with that. You know, that's just me in a perfect world. But unfortunately, this game doesn't have a actual bedrock of such. You have to find that yourself. So that's what I'm doing. I have to make my own lay of the land. So what I want to do is I want to grind this wheel against this side so we get ourselves a line, and then bring the blade down. Now I know what I've done. I've basically just made a little bit of a mess. I know this, but with a couple of scoops backwards and forwards we'll be just fine. I've just got to level this out for myself, but it's the joys of this game. It's a lot of manual work you have to mess around with yourself. It's the downside to this game. Even if it's a good mining game, and honestly, it is a good mining game, but the workload just to do one thing is ridiculous. I know this is like in real life. It takes a really long time to do anything. I know this, but for a computer game to take this long to do something is a little bit different, isn't it? So what we need to do, as I said, we need to guide out that side. And the more you do it, the smoother it gets, the less dirt that gets pulled up. So literally all you have to do for this bit is you just have to persevere. Pick up a little bit, put down a little bit, you know, just make sure you're doing what you need to do for your ramps and bits and pieces, and then it's all good. I would say the downside to this really is just having to keep doing this. You know, there's no easy way to do this. It's literally you have to do it. If I had friends and this game was multiplayer, I mean, it would make it a little bit easier. Let me just get out and then you can see what this is. So as you can see, I've just brought this down. I just need to bring this down a little bit now, and then you can sort of see how far down I'm really digging. But that's where it used to be. Now I'm down this far, and I've got to drag that lot down as well. The reason why I'm trying to keep this all smooth and everything else is because once you start making things thin, it starts to get harder and harder to get out of those sort of like tighter situations. Like I found myself in many and many of these before. It's harder to sort of like get the ore out the bottom if you've got a small thin ramp and you've got no way of getting yourself out, or you start running at 40 odd degrees angles and your loader's having a bit of a hissy fit because it can't get up, it hasn't got the power, and then you're having a hissy fit because you can't get up and you haven't got the power, and then you miss all the stuff at the bottom. So trying to do this properly is a pain. This may be one of those things that I'm going to come back to in a week or so. I might just have a little bit of time off and be like, okay, I'm going to reevaluate my situation and sort of like try this. So I mean, that's what I want to do with this. What I'll do, and I'm going to carry on doing this for a little bit longer, but I think it's going to be one of those, I might take like a couple of days off this game and then come back to it and be like, right, okay, all good, I'm fine, but we'll see how things go. Alright, so what I've done is I've leveled out my ramp for now, and the reason why I leveled it out more than just redid it and I'd be alright was because I wanted to get the back end of the lot first. So the problem with a lot of like this ore is when you dig for it, you always dig with your scoop down, and you always start making that I would say it's like a rudimentary mistake. It's where you basically just like, hey, if I angle my bucket down just a little bit, then I'll be okay. I can get to the bottom and I'll be fine. And that's literally how I started making my mistakes. So what I try and do is I try and keep my bucket as level as possible now. And the only way I could do that really is to keep this sort of level, like the whole thing. And what I will do is I'll scoop off what I can on this level, and then I'll go down a little bit further. You know, just trying to even up everything basically, and go from there. On the plus side, I mean, we do have $2.3 million now, so that's a good thing. I have thought about getting an excavator. I have thought about getting a set of conveyor belts as well. I saw Dre play it. I saw Dre's little conveyor belt thing. I'm sort of glad that he exists, because he tested something that I was going to test anyway. So thanks, Dre, most appreciated. Basically, I know that they sort of work. Good. If it sort of works, it's all good. So the idea is, if this gets too bad, I might start putting a conveyor belt system in, you know, and we'll just go from there. The downside to the conveyor belt system is it costs you $100 a day per belt to run, and I mean, at that rate you're like, well, it's a bit expensive. So I'm not sure how I would go about doing it, especially with working in the mine as well at the same time. So we'll just have to see. I do feel sorry for him though. Well, sort of. The reason why I'm sort of feeling sorry for him is because he chose a really stupid node to go for. Like at the start of the game, hey, I got an idea, let's get to the bottom of the mountain first and try to work our way up with very little equipment. Yeah, I watched that. I face palmed a little bit, if I'm going to be honest. I like Dre. He's a good egg. He really is a good egg. But I'm not sure sometimes what goes through his mind when he's like, hey, if I just start at the bottom of this really steep hill and cause myself an aneurysm, because I reckon that's where he's going if he carries on like the way he is. A bit more ore. So what you do, you work in the easier spaces first, make your money, and then it doesn't matter. And that's sort of the reason why I'm a little bit sort of, I don't know, I do like this game, but currently because there's no goal, I would say that is part of the reason why it's going to be a little bit tedious over time. There's no goal. You know, there's no like, hey, I need to buy this claim next to like unlock this area and this area. I think that's where it should really go, personally, but that's just me. It's just the way I think. I think the reason why I'm saying that is because if you look at like the way Gold Rush was structured, where you start off in a plot and you work your way up, maybe that could have been good for like this. I know this is early access and ideas are one of those things that happens over time, but the way that I would be a little bit happier playing this game for a longer period of time would be to, right, okay, so let's take, I don't know, a 3 square mile of this game, because it is a pretty big game, right? You take 3 square miles and you have to make X amount off this 3 square mile section in order for you to move on to the next like 3 square mile section. You have to buy the next claim, so to speak. So it does work out a little bit like gold mining. And the idea would be that you have equipment to like get rubies and gold and ore and everything else like that. As I said, early access, that's fine. So you have all your equipment all lined up and ready to go, but then obviously over time things are going to unlock when you've got X amount of money and this, that and the other. And that's how I would see it if I was going to put a structure in this. Now I know I know that the developer wants to sit this a little bit more in the whole free roam aspect, and I completely understand. It means that you've got your own game to play with, your own sort of like goals and whatever you want to do in the game. It's completely up to you as long as it's within regulations of like legality, I suppose. But I think that the problem with being like so free roam, and I sort of want, you know, I mean, I'm one of those people who advocates. I really like free roam games and like having a massive world to like mess around with and being happy in. But at the same time, I want something to aim for. You know, the only thing with this game is that your aim is to buy the most expensive equipment, right? Then what? Well, that's it. You know, there's nothing else really to do at that. And this is why I really want to tell, like, I might take like a week or two's break, because the guy that's building this, he updates this game very, very frequently. On the dev branch, it's been updated multiple times very, very quickly. And I'm thinking if I take a couple of weeks off of playing this and do something else and bits and pieces, then I can wait until an update comes in that might make me go, ooh, and play this for another week or two. You know, at the end of the day, that's what I'm sort of here for. I like looking into games like this, but I do want to see where it's going, and I don't really want to burn myself out before the game comes out, you know. I've done this a couple of times where I've played early access games, and then I've got to the point where the game's just about to come out, you know, full on release, people are excited, and then I'm sitting there just going, if I touch that game once more, I'm probably going to do something I regret. So yeah, I don't want to burn myself out, so to say. So that's why this video might be the last one I do for a couple of weeks, maybe. We'll see how things go. But if an update comes into the game whilst I'm sort of like chilling, then that's going to happen. I'll come back to it and I'll see how the game is. But I do have other projects and other things coming up, so I have to work my time, you know. I'm just a single man on my own in this. I don't have a team of people working with me. I don't have like a million hours a day to record and do lots and lots of videos. So yeah, that's where I'm at. If I'm going to be brutally and absolutely honest with everybody watching this, this will be one of those games I'm going to be coming back to frequently, you know. So if you enjoyed this content, it's all good. I will be back to this. It's just, I do like to sort of like, I've got to get out of the habit of playing a game to a point where I'm going to kill myself on it, you know. I did it with Car Mechanic Simulator. I've put blood, sweat and almost tears, I'd say, tears of sort of like immediate depression, I would say. But I've put blood, sweat and tears into games coverage before, and by the time that I really want to go back to it and play it, I can't be bothered, and I don't want to get into that with this. I want to enjoy this game as it comes. So I will finish this mine, I just don't know when. But with 2.3, I'm going to probably have 2.5 million by the time I get to the bottom of this hill. I mean, I'm not really sure what else I can really do right now. Yes, I could set up a little conveyor belt system and I could do this, but I would say that in order to carry on doing this one, I would need, it's going to take a lot of time, and that's been my problem. Like, seeing how big this mine actually is, I'm like, you know what, I might just sort of, I'm going to give it a couple of days or maybe a week or two and see how things go. As said, I'm going to keep an eye on the updates in this game, see how things go. And if something comes along, I'm jumping in. I'm going to be coming back to this. So keep your eyes peeled. You know, this isn't a I'm never going to play this game again, because I really enjoy this game. I wouldn't have bought this game if I didn't enjoy it. And like I said, I'm not sponsored to play this game. I'm not playing this game because the developer gave me a code. I'm playing this game because I bought it. So I will come back to it because I want my goddamn money's worth. Even though I've pretty much got it out of it so far. But the people who have watched these videos, been amazing. Thank you very much for talking there. It's been brilliant. I'm hoping you enjoyed the rest of this channel. But I will come back to this, definitely, because I really want to see where this goes. I think this game's got a massive amount of potential. I really, really do. And I genuinely think if the developer keeps up on the updates like he's been doing, he's got a winner. If you're into your mining games, or if you're into anything a little bit more sort of like subtle, I'd say subtle, because it's not exactly a first-person shooter where people are jumping off of buildings trying to kill you, is it? But if you want a game that you can take your time on, do what you like on, within reason, you'll be fine with this, definitely. There we go. Let's empty all this out. Take my brake off. Right, pelt it forward. So we made, out of 52 tons of ore, 100 grand. Now that ain't bad. Then we're just going to even out the floor because, well, that's it. So personally, I would say give me a little bit of time. Give me a week. Give me a 2, you know. I'm still going to be playing this game in the background whilst I'm doing other things. I just want to progress like within my own time instead of being rushed to the next one. Hope you understand this. And at the end of the day, it's been awesome to have you guys here. Thank you very much for kicking by. And if you have checked out of Ore and you bought it as well, kudos to you. You're in good hands with this one. Like I said, I'll keep myself going on this. I'm going to keep myself blitzing along and seeing how things go. I'm going to keep up with the dev. I'm going to keep up with the dev updates and read through the Steam discussion pages and stuff and see how it all goes. But for the time being, give me a little bit of time and I'll come back to this. I wouldn't come back to it if I was just given this game, but because I bought it, I'm enjoying it, and I'm coming back. Don't worry. Catch you guys later. Have a really good one, and I'll see you all in. Peace out. Have fun. Enjoy everything you guys do. Bye bye for now.